Everyone, CriticasterQ here. It's been a minute, but today I want to talk about some posts that SEGA put on their website detailing out some changes or features happening for the version 2 update for NGS in June. With these, there's some good changes and some insightful ones, but there's also one mixed with some controversy, this skip gameplay feature that we purchased with AC. We'll be talking about all of those, but the first one is data for PSO2 will be released as DLC on June 7th. So this is something that PlayStation has already had, but now for all versions of the game, for Xbox One, Microsoft Store, Steam, and the Epic Game Store versions, they will be able to download Base Game PSO2 separately from NGS now. So you won't need the whole 100 plus gigabytes of data if you don't play base game. But for those that still do, unfortunately, you'll need to re-download this as DLC as it's no longer part of the main download, and this will apply to all players who've been playing NGS prior to the update on June 7th. Just one thing to note about this is that certain music discs will require the data from PSO2 to be played, so just keep that in mind if you have any of those. On to the next thing though, notes on mini episodes and adjustments to experience earned in some tasks. So in here, it says that there will be new main story scheduled to be released on June 7th. So that's kind of confirmation right there that we'll be getting story. But because of that, there'll be some changes. Points to note regarding mini episodes. When the new story launches on June 7th, side tasks for side stories that have not yet been completed will be considered completed. Mini episodes that have not been viewed yet will be considered viewed. If you have not yet completed all the mini episodes, we hope you'll progress through them so you can enjoy the new storyline even more. And also with this, side stories that have been treated as viewed and mini episodes that have not been viewed will be accessible through the quest counter, and you can still get the rewards for these story quests at the quest counter once you complete them. What this is essentially saying is that they're all going to be just shoved into the quest counter and no longer in the open world, which kind of implies that this new story is going to change Halpha or the island that we're on in a major way. It's probably due to Chapter 5, what happened there. I don't want to spoil it here, but due to that, it's probably going to mess everything around and kind of change either the landscape or what is happening in those different zones. So that's probably why they're doing this. And then for adjustment of experience earned through some tasks, rewards for the NPC, Guiden, side tasks, and rewards for completing main tasks will be adjusted. So what this means is that they're taking those Guiden quests that gave you 10 million, 20 million XP, and they're going to probably reduce them by a lot, but redistribute it through the main quest instead, so the main quest feels like you're actually getting XP instead of just these random quests where you do nothing. Just keep in mind, for those of you that have still been saving these guidance side tasks, this experience number will be changed kind of retroactively, so it won't be really useful for the June 7th update if you've been saving it for that 5-level increase. So it might be better to get the full benefit on using it on another class now, or just getting class cubes in your main class, but it's pretty much up to you because some experience is better than none. But now we have the final post, the one that's a little bit controversial, and that's the advance notice regarding the release of the skip gameplay feature for purchase by AC. So they are planning to provide a paid feature in the update on June 7th that enables players to raise their class levels or advance their story progress instantly. The purpose of this feature is to support those who are just starting or returning to the game and want to catch up to and socialize with other players, as well as access new content. Moreover, we believe it will also help players who wish to level additional characters progress through the main story in a more efficient manner. And then there's several things here that will be for sale. So there'll be NGS story progress tickets, class level 70 and equipment set, and NGS version 1 All Trainia Explored. So instantly, without even looking at the details here, you might be able to see why people are up in flames or flipping tables over these different items that you can buy. But honestly, in my opinion at least, these aren't that big of a deal. With the story progress tickets, this item can be used to skip through the main story to the latest chapter at the time of use. So everything but the final chapter at the time, this gives you the experience needed to reach the recommended class level for your main class. People have been arguing that, the story matters, people should be going through the story. Why skip? There's so little at the moment anyways, so there's basically no value in this. And then also could encourage RMT. So to argue against those 3 points, the story matters portion, well, this kind of is dependent on the individual, correct? So some people care about the story, some people do not. Even without this item, people have been skipping through the cutscenes, trying to blaze through all the content to get to the end game anyways. So this just gives them an option to pay a little bit of real money to skip all of that in order to save their time. And then why skip there's so little already. Once again, it goes back to it's up to the individual if they find value in this ticket. So maybe just like that little bit of time save is actually worth it to them over, playing through. And plus, with both of those, if they do actually care about the story after the fact, you can always go to the quest counter to watch all the cutscenes or play back through those different chapters. For the argument about RMT or real money trading, I don't think this is really going to encourage more of it. It's pretty much going to stay the same, because why would somebody want to pay real money to get to this point? It's going to cut into their margins if they're going to continue doing so. And plus, I hate this kind of like mindsets because it hurts the player base as a whole versus targeting a minority, because to combat RMT in the past, SEGA has, removed trading from the game, which was a huge blunder in my opinion, but that's just like a whole nother matter. And then also they have like the titles that you need to get to search player specific shops. When you use premium, there's like a kind of a delay before you can actually put items up in the shop. A whole bunch of different things that they've done that doesn't really matter when it comes to story progress. And even if it does, add a little bit to the RMT, SEGA's been pretty much like on top of it as of late, with the recent account suspension, which actually dropped today. The numbers show that they've done 2,000 RMT related cases for suspension. So they've been removing tons of players or accounts related to this, and they'll probably continue to do so as time goes on. There was one concern, however, that was valid when it came to these story progress tickets, and that was if you have your main character that's gone through the story already, or at least a portion of it, then with a new character like an alt, you could skip up to that point in the story, at least until the latest chapter, for free. People are worried that this will be removed from the game because these story progress tickets will exist. But I don't think that's going to be the case because of the wording here in the upper portion. So it's just for those that are starting out brand spanking new or returning to the game. So if they want for an existing character, skip the story progress. Of course, I don't know for sure, but on to the next point is class level 70 and equipment set. This item raises the selected main class level to 70, provides one weapon from each weapon category available to the selected class, as well as 3 pieces of armor. So the concern that's different for this one is that the weapon and armor will be powerful and kind of do wrong to those that have been playing the game for so long or up to this point. And honestly, I don't think these pieces of gear are going to be that good, and it's almost equivalent to something probably like a seasonal event that happens like all the time, where people can get free gear, weapons from those just for a few seasonal points, and they are pre-upgraded. There's probably gonna be something similar to that, but even if they are like, I don't know, Astrian weapons or Ajax armor or Claire armor, the new update is going to have level 75 and new gear anyways, probably even 9 stars for weapons, maybe even 8 stars for armor. They'll pretty much make these obsolete anyways, not be like the final upgrade that you need for the time. Just sufficient enough to get the battle power to play the content that drops on June 7th. And for the final one here is NGS version 1 All Trainia Explored. This item sets the status of all cocoons and towers available as of June 7th to completed so that players can acquire the skill points from the first clear reward. Pretty much all the same arguments as before, like the value of the item, or they should be forced to play it. It's kind of like just the same thing. It's up to the individual if they want to skip it, and they could just complete it if they want to. And for these, they're easy to do anyway, so it's not like much of a challenge that they're avoiding or anything like that. It's mainly like just trying to find them in the first place, but you can just use the mag sonar for that too. One thing that this got to me questioning though is, will there be version 2 Trainia? I mean, we already talked about before with this that we're probably still going to be on Helpha, so they're just going to add more, or they're going to add to the Trainia that already exists, or there's going to be some other way to get skill points for the new skills that we'll be getting. Who knows? But all in all, I think these changes are like a net positive for these 3, and it seems like the version 2 update is going to be way bigger than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be kind of like strung along over the course of a few months, but we're getting like new story, which I wasn't expecting right away because we just got chapter 5, and we're gonna get the level increase to 75, new skills, we're gonna get the creative spaces and so much more, that I'm actually getting more excited as it gets closer to that June 7th date. But let me know what you guys think of all this here, because it seems to be the most like controversial portion of what's coming, pay to win or whatnot, or something with RMT. But I don't know, with the RMT thing, it almost seems like you would be better off buying scratch tickets and selling it from a SETA than purchasing these to have, I don't know, later advancement in the story and levels for RMT. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.